What's up, you guys? Welcome to this video. And in this video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and review on The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you have not seen the episode, don't watch this video because I will be talking about some spoilers, especially towards the end of the video. But yeah, the great thing about The Mandalorian is that the episodes are released on a week-by-week basis, one episode per week. And so while people can be disappointed that they don't get to just rush through the whole series in one go, what that does is that it allows the series, you get to enjoy each episode per week and really feel like you're getting to follow along with the story for a longer period of time rather than just rushing through the whole show just because you don't want to get spoiled by people who have watched the whole series in just like one sitting or something like that. But yeah, obviously The Mandalorian Season 1 was a big hit. People really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it for the most part. I had some problems with how they did the story, but the trailers for Season 2 looked really good, and with the characters that they said were going to be in this, like Boba Fett and Ahsoka Tano, I was really looking forward to seeing what Season 2 was going to do. This episode kicks off with the Mandalorian. He's still with the child. He's on the mission to sort of bring the child back to his own kind. So the race of Yodas, whatever that species is called. And he's asked to find another Mandalorian on Tatooine who's going to sort of help him along with that quest. And you can guess who that other Mandalorian is. We'll get to that towards the end of the episode. But yeah, this episode did a whole lot of good things to where I think it actually standed out as one of the better episodes of the whole series, Season 1, and obviously this one episode of Season 2. What was really cool what this episode did is, for one, you see that the production value is just like, it's gotten better. And it was good in Season 1, but here with this one, with the way they did the creatures at the end, sort of the scenery, all that kind of stuff, the visual effects were a little better, the battle, the action, you're like, okay, they definitely got an upscale in budget for Season 2, just based on how popular Season 1 was, what a hit that was. So that was good stuff right there. I really enjoyed once the Mandalorian got to Tatooine, the new character, the Marshal, played by Timothy Olyphant. This guy, he was just a really cool character, the way he came in, the way he sort of faked you out, because he comes in with Boba Fett's armor, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? Is it Boba Fett? Because you knew Boba Fett was going to be in Season 2. And then he takes out that armor, and then he explains who he is, and it's like, wow, he's kind of a cool guy, and the way he was kind of standing up to Mando, that was cool stuff also. But then the bulk of this episode was sort of the journey, the quest for them to destroy sort of this new sort of sand monster that's terrorizing Tatooine. Which at first I thought that sand monster, I'm like, wait a minute, is this supposed to be sort of the big sort of CGI version of the Sarlacc? I'm like, is that what that is? Then reading up upon it more, it's like, no, this is definitely its own creature, not the same creature that you saw in Return of the Jedi, the one that swallowed up Boba Fett. So yeah, they go with him to sort of, they go with them, the Marshal, to sort of destroy the sand monsters, to save the town. In exchange, the Marshal will give back the Boba Fett's armor, because the Mandos are like, yo man, you got to give me that armor, because that's some sacred Mandalorian stuff. So that's the whole agreement they do. So most of the episode is sort of the journey to sort of do that. And what I'll say, sort of the best thing about the episode was that battle at the end. The way they did the battle between with Mando, Marshal, and the sand people, that was a really great battle with them against that giant sort of sand creature, sandworm, whatever you want to call that thing. That was just amazing. And the CGI on that sand creature was just great. And you can see, like I said, that upscale in budget to where they're like, okay, if Season 2 is going to have this kind of production value, this is going to stand to be like a really just amazing sort of season to watch. One thing though that I'm all like, kind of iffy on where the direction of Season 2 might be going based on this episode is the same problem I had with Season 1 of The Mandalorian, to where it felt like, especially towards the middle of Season 1, the episodes didn't seem all that consequential in terms of moving the story forward. It seemed like each episode, especially those episodes 4, 5, and 6, were kind of random in terms of it's the same thing of the Mandalorian going somewhere, trouble starts, and then he has to go somewhere else, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and so I was like, I'm not sure if I'm really crazy about that structure. I think they needed to improve sort of the story structure of this series going forward, especially for Season 2. I don't want to base that assumption just on one episode, but it did sort of feel like the same thing. It's like, okay, the Mandalorian, he goes to towns, trouble starts, and then he's got to go somewhere else. But this was still a really cool episode, regardless of all the stuff that it did, and it was quite long. It was 50 minutes long, which is, I think it stands as like one of the longest episode of The Mandalorian so far. So like I said again, you see that upscale and budget. That was really cool. But obviously the big thing is the end. Now they showed Boba Fett's armor that the Marshal had, but you're all like, okay, so what the hell happened to Boba Fett then? That Sarlacc pig just eat Boba Fett and just shit out his armor, and that's how the Marshal got it? Well, then at the end of the episode, when Mando's sort of going off with the child again, you see like, oh shit, there's someone on the hill, bald head, and it turns out it's Boba Fett. Now, I'm not sure how many people would go automatically assume it's Boba Fett just based on just how he looks. Just obviously, you never saw how Boba Fett looked when he was older in the original trilogy. But yeah, it ends up being Boba Fett, who we did see sort of him unmasked as a kid during the prequel films. And yeah, people knew Boba Fett was going to be in this series in season 2. What I was surprised by is just his presentation, just immediately showing him just maskless. And so like, wait, what? That's how they're going to do it? I thought it was going to be the thing where it's just like, okay, you're just going to see Boba Fett in his normal form. And when you initially saw the Marshal in Boba Fett's armor, I thought that was Boba Fett. But now they sort of saved that for the end. So it's going to be kind of cool to see the direction they go with Boba Fett in this one. Although for some people, the people who do really like Boba Fett, I'm not one of them. I think he's kind of an overrated character. I mean, he didn't really have that much of a presence in the original films, barely had any lines, like maybe no more than 10 lines or something like that combined in both movies he was in, Empire and Return of the Jedi. It's still going to be cool to see what they do with him this direction. It does kind of sort of take away the mystique of him, seeing him unmasked this way. And it's kind of weird to think like, because this show doesn't take place that long after Return of the Jedi. So it's like, okay, so this is how Boba Fett looked under that armor at all times. So it's going to be interesting to see how sort of character plays out, if this it's going to change how people sort of think of Boba Fett, and what role is he going to play in this series. He's going to be sort of kind of like the villain of the series. When is he going to meet up with Mando, that kind of stuff. But regardless, this was a really fun episode. Of course, people got plenty of child moments, which one thing that's kind of obvious what this show's doing for season 2, at least in this episode, they know now how big a hit the child is, Baby Yoda is, with everyone, with the memes and everything like that. And a lot of this episode, they gave him a whole bunch of like reaction shots. Him just looking side-eyed, him sort of turning his head, him laughing, that kind of stuff. A whole bunch of reactions to where I guess it's not a bad thing, but you can definitely tell that they're like, okay, we know the child is a hit. Let's give people plenty of the child. But I guess that's not such a bad thing, because I definitely love some of those memes. But you can definitely see that they know that the stuff they want to put in terms of Baby Yoda being that sort of like internet meme star. So hopefully they'll have some more good stuff like that tea sipping moment he had in season 1. But yeah, overall, season 1, episode 1 of season 2, chapter 9, titled The Marshal, was really good. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really fun episode. Actually, maybe a 9 out of 10. That's a really good episode. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the series can live up to this episode. So that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching.